So you wanted to find out about the 48 laws of power, which I've introduced you to, right? You've read the book I got you?
Yeah.
What do you think of the book?
I thought it's serious, like it's got some worth.
Alright, cool.
It's definitely got some worth. But I felt as though it just didn't connect with me as well as I wanted it to.
Not enough black people.
Not enough black people.
Yeah.
The 48 laws of power. This world is all about power. There's no denying it. And if life is a game, then we have to know how to play. We love this book so much, we knew we had to put our own spin on it. Something that we can resonate with. So here's the 48 laws of black power.
Kanye and Jay-Z.
Yep.
You spoke about Al Sharpton and James Brown. So you've got a little bit old school, a little bit new school.
Yep.
And then black men and black women, the dynamic between them.
Kanye, Al Sharpton, and the dynamic between black men and black women.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So Kanye was the understudy. He was the producer who wanted to be the rapper. Jay-Z was the man, the boss. Always had been the boss. Kind of buoyed up Kanye West when Kanye West came in first. Didn't take him seriously. Possibly didn't take him seriously because he saw the potential.
Right.
So probably buoyed him up that way. And that could have been Jay-Z's way of demonstrating to Kanye West, I am the master. Now bear in mind, I don't know any of these two. I've met Jay-Z once, fleetingly, but I don't know them. Right? So I'm just going off of what's reported and trying to read between the lines. But there was definitely a dynamic there where Beyonce and Jay-Z have kind of distanced themselves from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Right? So that could be as a result of Kanye West outshining the master. Kanye West wants to tackle systematic racism loud. Jay-Z is more subtle and sophisticated.
So, how did he outshine the master in the first place?
When he became successful with his first album,
Right.
it's possible it became an issue for the master Jay-Z. That this guy was going to come and take the throne. The last concert that Jay-Z said he was going to do, the encore concert, Black Album, it's reported that Kanye West had to pay for his tickets to go, even though he was a part of the Rockefeller family.
Right.
So it's as if Jay-Z is always trying to sun him, like,
Sure.
yo, stay in your lane. I get that vibe, which eventually kind of pushed Kanye to go and do his own thing. And then he became as big a draw in hip-hop as Jay-Z, which I think would have affected the relationship, which is why Kanye West reported that Jay-Z had never come to see his children. So what we have there is Kanye West trying to respect the master, but just with his success and his level of education, outshining the master.
Sure.
What was the next one? Al Sharpton, James Brown. Now here's a perfect example of how not to outshine the master. James Brown coming through, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. He was about his politics. He was about the empowerment of black African Americans. Al Sharpton was his understudy. Al Sharpton used to travel with James Brown every time James Brown was going to do political talks or political concerts. And Al Sharpton learned from James Brown. And it wasn't until James Brown relinquished the throne that Al Sharpton stepped up and got into the throne and became that, what you call, pro-black voice in America. So that's a classic example of just being a great understudy, attributing your success to your master, which Al Sharpton does. He says, if it wasn't for James Brown, I wouldn't have known this, I wouldn't have known that. It's fine. Yeah, he attributes that to James Brown. James Brown was the one who brought it forward. So for me, that's a perfect example of how not to outshine the master, even though you yourself are formidable. You give praise to the master. You give the master credit for your successes. And that's what Al Sharpton did.
Decent. And then I guess the last one is probably the most interesting one.
Yeah.
Black men began to outshine black women.
I strongly believe that in the black community, black women instinctively see themselves as the leaders, the rulers.
Why?
Well, part of it could be because where we evolved from. We evolved from, I believe, from bonobos and not chimpanzees.
Okay.
And in bonobos, the female, the matriarch runs things, negotiates with sex and socializing, whereas chimpanzees, the males run things, right? So it could be something in our DNA. Also, if you've read the Willie Lynch book, yes, and I know Willie Lynch didn't exist, but the dynamics in the book do exist. And those dynamics in the book explain how, living in a dominant culture amongst white people, the oppressor saw the black man as a threat, so dumbed him down. Left him strong, but made him dumb.
Right.
Made the black woman smart, but physically weak. So when he wants to get a message across to the black people and move the black people into a certain direction, he does that by empowering the black woman. He's been doing that for decades, or they've been doing that for decades. So through that, the black woman has become the powerhouse, big mama. You know, you can never say anything bad about mom, but you can cuss dad all day long, right? In the black community, the black woman has become the leader, the ruler. Now, nobody likes to lose the crown, as we said with Jay-Z. Nobody likes to see somebody coming to threaten their dominance. And what's happened with black men, I believe, over the past 40, 50 years is we've been trying to establish ourselves as the leaders. And there are some women, I call them black feminists, that are not happy with that. Like the Black Lives Matter lot. They want women to be out front. They want women to be leading. I don't think that's smart, personally. We've got a current example, the tragic shooting of Sassa Johnson. She's got 2 children. And now she's in hospital because she was on the front line. She's not there to be a mother for the children. Every mother is going to be a better mother to a child than I would be. I can be a great father, but I can't be a great mother. And the mother is the first educator of the child. So really you want the mom there, right? Not on the front line. But what's happened in the dynamics which we live is that the black woman has been put on the front line and she's happily gone onto the front line. We're now trying to take her off the front line and say, oh, let us step up and do this. We're ready. I don't think she's happy about that. In general, I'm talking in general now, I'm talking every black woman. Right. So effectively, the black woman is seeing the black man as outshining her. She used to be the leader, she used to be on top, she used to be the boss.
So yeah, as you said, we're speaking in general terms.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's different ways that it's happening. It's not just one way that the black man is outshining the black woman, and certain black women aren't happy about it.
Well, there's ways that, for example, in parenting, there might be an issue at school. The school's going to feel much more comfortable dealing with the black woman, right? Most black men who are watching this video now could identify with that. Now, if the black man goes in to try and deal with an issue, the black woman might say, I will deal with it. I've got the relationship. You're too aggressive. Take a back seat. They're going to be intimidated by you. For me, that's an unconscious thing of the black woman trying to say, let me shine. Someone's stabbed, a black boy's stabbed. You'll see the TV will always have the mother or a female from the family speaking about the person who's been stabbed.
Yeah.
Very rarely, if ever, do you see the father.
Yeah.
Now, if the father tries to come through, whereas there's been a couple black fathers that have tried to come through, they kind of get sidelined.
So, I think that makes more sense. I guess the last thing I'd have to ask though, so black men have to abide by the rule of black women being in control?
Well, depends what kind of black man you are.
What does that mean?
Depends what kind of black man you are.